What's up, legends? Rock a limited edition Dimes t-shirt and dive into the Canadian creative scene. Each tee featuring a Dimes custom logo made by No More is your chance to make a home team statement. These tees are available in limited quantity, so head to www.nomore.com to grab yours before they're gone. Every purchase helps support Dimes and their masterpiece of an album, Mind in the Matter. This isn't just a shirt, it's support. And it's a piece of artistry and innovation. It's all about each of us improving daily, creatively, and growing with your craft. So don't miss out, join the movement today, and be part of something extraordinary. With that, stay tuned for our sit-down interview with Dimes, where she'll delve into her album, Mind in the Matter. Don't miss it.
I need 100 million, baby, cut the check. Don't you ever show me disrespect. Acting sassy boy gon' make me grab a vest. 101, you know I never
thank you for today. Look at this.
We're here to talk about this album and the recording side of it. The first thing I ever heard from this album was Stolo with Graveheart. I remember, I think it might have been the first time I met you even.
That's true, yeah, we showed you stuff.
But Stolo's where it started. Graveheart is the feature. How does that song come together?
Wow, it's like, that's a song that came together and like totally baby steps. Cause I had that inspo track that was very a cappella based that I showed Midnight, and I was like, look, I want to do something similar, but let's take it somewhere else. And that's where we started. And I did that guitar riff right at the beginning.
You play the guitar?
I play the guitar.
No way, that's crazy.
So we worked this out, right? It was like a layer by layer. And what did they do there that we didn't? Almost like we had that comparison, but at the same time, you know, when you compare the inspo that we had into the track that we made, it sounds so different.
Yeah.
So that's what we loved, and it was just like so amazing to finally produce too, because I haven't stepped out of that comfort zone until I met Adam, and you know, we started working things out. And one of the nights I performed here, Grave came through and he heard a snippet from Stolo.
Sold.
Yeah, and he was like, yo, that track where the hook is like money. And I told him right off the bat, like, I loved Grave art right off the bat. And I think I saw him the first time in Fortune Sound Club performing. He performed Castle, and I was like, yo, that kid, like, wow. He has crazy performance energy. The songs are just so addicting. And I told him right off the bat, hey, if you like that song, come jump on it. So we did.
Like that day, did he jump on it?
Yeah, and he was like, you know, like he was like, wait, like I don't know, I might quit music soon and this and that, but you know, I'm down. Like, and we probably met 2 weeks after.
And that's when the song actually was like recorded, written, and all that.
I recorded already a version. I had a second verse on Stolo already that I took off for Grave to be able to jump on it.
And then so you talked to Grave about this track. 2 weeks later, he comes in, records his part.
Yeah, and it sounds like the way it is that the you're listening to pretty much like the demo here, because like we haven't changed much of the lyric overall. The flow is like was there from the version 1, version 2 that we wrapped up this track, and it's like it's such a good track. Yeah. I love it. I love every single thing about it.
It's amazing. I want to make sure we get enough time to talk about everything, so I won't talk too much about it. But one last thing about Stolo is like in that intro, there's this very gentle vocal through the intro, and I was just thinking to myself, like trying to figure out exactly. I haven't picked apart exactly what's going on in that vibey intro, word-wise. Any like.
So like my lyric intro.
Yeah, that comes into Stolo.
Right. I feel like I just try to be honest at the intro there and, you know, speak about what I'm going through. I feel like, you know, looks is one thing, but there's something about looks that you come into the room and people are already looking at you with a side eye type thing. Because they think you know what you're about or how you made your money. And I feel like that judgment I've been facing so many times over and over and over again that like I'm tired of explaining myself. So I was like, okay, in the intro I'll just try to rap about those struggles and how I feel about them too. Because like, again, people can come and say or think something, pre-notions, but at the end of the day, I don't have to prove myself to nobody. Like, I know where I came from. You know, it's enough for me.
And the music you make being that way is
Yeah.
beautiful. So stay doing that. It's so wild that you say that. Right before I left my house to come here, I was reading a chapter out of Rick Rubin's book, just in case it would become useful on this. And it does. The
Okay.
chapter in Rick Rubin's book was about make art in a way where it's like you build a house on a hill that no one will ever visit except for you. Build your art that way.
Oh, wow.
It's like,
I love Rick. Honestly,
Yeah.
he's been such a helpful thing in all this too, because like I've been reading his book on and on. I'll just, you know, listen through to the audiobook over and over and only like take little key things that resonate with me. And I think he's so important to upcoming artists nowadays, because there's just so much. There's so much of everything, and in order for you to stand out and really be able to say what you want to say, you have to like let go, detach of certain things, and understand that when people talk about or criticize the music, it's just like they don't target you particularly. It's something that for a lot of artists hard to step above. Otherwise, like, you know, that's why quitting is so prevalent in this.
well, like it's true. I think that if you're not taking risks and being vulnerable, you're not even being an artist. So you have to like truly believe in your gut and go with what's truly who you are, because that's what art should be, is representation of the uniqueness that is you, you know?
Absolutely.
And with that, this album achieves that so well. I don't even know what genre to call it. What would you put any kind of genre on it?
I would not. No, I think more than once I heard artists say that they don't want to be conformed to a certain genre, and I think that's something Rick is saying too, that you have to experiment to kind of find your sound and know what you are destined to do. And what's cool about it is that people get to see your journey. So I'm gonna let other people define what it is, because like I got no clue. I just felt it and done it and executed, you know. So whatever people want to call it at the end of the day.
Yeah, like I also think it's true that when someone hears a song, they think it's about them. So let
That
them
too.
interpret it however they want. Like,
Yeah.
with all the songs, so we talked about Stolo a bit, and I love them all, and it kind of like goes back and forth between all of them,
Yeah.
depending on how my day's going. But lately it's been Flowers.
Ooh, okay, I love
Just
Flowers.
really-
Flowers is like, yeah, there's a, Flowers took a long time to write too. I feel like that loop, I got that guitar loop from a producer I worked with before Midnight, and we kind of disconnected. That's why I let this go. But I had a day, December of 23, that I was like, I was just going through all the beat that I had in my computer, and I was like, I feel like writing something new today type thing. And I went through that beat, which is not really a beat. It's just like, you know, it's just a continuous guitar loop. And I wrote the entire song. I was just like, okay. So it was just like, it was inspired by that. There's a band I grew up listening to. It's called Mercedes Benz.
Mhm.
And they had a song called Sophie, and they were talking about this girl that she's like so down and can't do it, like can't bring herself up in her life that way. So I wanted to take it that way, but from my perspective, how I felt back then. And it just turned out like so raw. So I stepped into the studio probably a day after to record it with Midnight. And I lost my voice that week. So I was like, God, my voice was gone.
Yeah.
Can't sing. But I was like, I had to lay that demo down. So I did. And then 2 weeks after, when I came to do it, when I had my voice back, I was like, that doesn't feel as real
Yeah.
as that demo. So I'm just gonna release that demo. Like, sounds like that demo sickness in a bit, but I really like the demo better than what I could execute after. So
Well, I couldn't imagine it with any other vocal on it.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe that's why it stands out to me when I get to it on the album, is because it's so unique vocally from everything else.
I agree.
And it's cool to know like the behind the scenes of like how that came to be, and amazing as well that you tried a different way and stuck with ultimately what you felt in your heart was the right way to go, which was.
That was it, yeah, because like I feel like with art you really gotta, it's almost like sometimes the sketch is better than that crazy painting that you will that will take you months to execute. So sometimes the idea is just more prevalent and present in that sketch than anything better.
Yeah.
So that's what I chose to keep it as.
Yeah, respect. Yes,
Yeah.
it's the way it should be.
Appreciate it.
It's such a great song, and
Thank
I
you.
mean, I float around. They're all great songs. Like, there's not a single bad track on the album. Like, sometimes it feels like there's a little filler in there. There's not. There's like, I've listened to it like 100 times the last week.
Wow.
And like
Thank you, girl.
well, I just wanted to like study it for this interview, but going through it, yeah, I kept jumping back and forth. Like even the final track on the album, such like a beautiful like
Honey.
way to just like wrap up this entire feeling that the album was, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Well, that project was something that I really, really like doing, honestly. There's also a producer that that I probably met a few months before I met Adam, and he's like a crazy pianist. Really amazing pianist. Philip. And I had that demo on a super upbeat track, and I showed it to him, and I was like, can we make this like I love your piano, I want you to play the beat, and like I will come sing on it more on like a ballad way.
Yeah.
And he honestly executed it within 4 months. We had it's a masterpiece. Like I still listen to that song today and I'm like, wow.
Like, make sure you get to that final song on this album and listen to the whole thing, because I feel like the whole thing is a story the whole way through.
It is what it is, because like I try to lay the tracks not in the way not in the order I made them, but more in a linear curve of like what I've been through the last couple of years and what it took me to go and put this out, you know. Like today, just to make art, you need to have the finances in place. You, like what we talked about before the interview, you have to market yourself, and it's just so much more than people think.
It's
just like,
so
oh,
much.
I'm gonna sing and it's gonna sound nice and I'm gonna put this out and it's just gonna go viral. It's just not the way it works, and unfortunately, but yeah, I was coming way more. I don't feel like I'm prepared more than every single track I made kind of like solidified for me why I'm doing this type thing.
Yeah, the process is the preparation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think I wanna write this day off, looking pretty with no makeup. Saddish feel, but I can mask up. Been dizzy off the get-go, now I could lay up. I turn my life a pretty nice year, as long as I say hush to some fears. I can lock off in the washroom for a few tears, and back out I go. I bet no one knows. As long as you clean up well, I bet you no one can tell that inside your head it's a living hell. As long as you clean up well, I bet you no one can tell that inside your head it's a living hell.
Anything unique that stands out that you like want to mention?
Well, like I really love Jellyfish. I feel like that was also a huge part in my learning curve as a producer. Because like being a producer, a part of the thing is doing the thing.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
And I feel like I was so stuck in learning the thing that I forgot to actually execute and do the thing. And when Maya was a pretty quick coming project too, which was amazing because I think we talked about making a track together in her debut performance that she had downtown. And she was like, I heard some of your tracks and I would love to make something together. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna make use of my home studio before I was moving, so like you might as well just like let's set something up and come through. And she came 2 weeks after. We demoed up Jellyfish. I think it was really cool because she showed me a track she liked, and I took a sample off that track and chopped it and rearranged it for us to be able to go through with this. And it was the first time that, you know, it's that pressure of like, wow, I'm doing something new, but there's an artist that I really respect here, and at the same time I had to step up and do it. So I ended up like with an amazing track, really. And I'm saying it's surprise because like I really didn't, until I stepped up and did it, I really didn't expect I'm gonna make anything like to that level.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful, but like we did need a little bit of help with the drums, and I had a little guitar solo on it that needed like a little bit, how would I call it, touch-ups. So we did take it to midnight to another session, probably a month after, and we wrapped it up. So it was like all in all 2 sessions, that song was done, which is like insane. I feel like it's really, really quick, and it's that connection that we had too as 2 artists to be able to come up with something that quick. But it turned out so beautiful.
And then like that's the song that gets the whole thing started, which then leads you through this whole like story.
Yeah, honestly, Jellyfish is like, it has to be
like Maya's the first vocal on it, I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And like she's so
it's
so clean,
amazing.
it's so perfect. Like
I honestly started, since her performance downtown, I started listening to her music on rotation way more. She has
I mean, people need to listen to more local music.
Yeah,
it's so incredible.
100%.
Like
100%.
Like make some playlists and start playing these local artists on repeat, because I think once they like,
that's why I appreciate so much like there's people like John that make local playlists, and you know, like I feel like we need more of that.
Phantom Sound
is amazing.
has done so much.
I can't say enough like on how much he helped in the artist
like we're on the roof of a building they've created, you know. So like, yeah, big thank you to Phantom, and like the behind the scenes, like you were talking about, people don't understand
like
how much goes into it.
Palm Street, the entire crew, they helped bring this album together 100%. If I didn't have them and I had to be alone in this process, it would have been 3-4 years of work. And I don't even know
what Midnight does to like make sure that it's just like before you even finish the song, like when you're actually coming in, your vocal sounds like what you want it to sound like, so you can deliver.
Yeah.
And then also the comfort of that room. Yeah, it's the best place. I'm so thankful this place exists, because like I don't know where the city would be without it.
100%. They turned out so many amazing people out of here, and I'm so thankful for the process has been easier here. So that's an important thing.
I feel like all the music that's made here is like the soundtrack to my life.
Ooh.
And every time an album like this that you brought to us gets added to that, I'm like, if they ever made a movie about my life, like these would be the songs that I would want to like play at certain moments, you know. And so thank you for like creating another addition to like the Vancouver soundtrack, really, you know.
Absolutely. Like oh my god, hearing this from you is like, it's insane, because you know, making this, I really didn't anticipate that many people will have the positive reaction that they had towards this, and especially like you as a producer. And honestly, like we have 2 tracks together that we gotta wrap up, and But yeah, coming from people that are professional in this industry and been so long is just so much more meaningful for some reason, and I do appreciate it a lot.
Well, there's so much great music being made in this city. There has to be a spotlight put on it. It's so important to me that we
I so
acknowledge and
appreciate it.
recognize these great albums. You know, you never know when one of these songs or like the entire album itself is going to take off and get recognition in like certain ways. You just have to appreciate making the art.
I do.
But if the art's
and
that
I think
good,
going back to Rick, like I feel like he's saying is something that I instilled really deep in my head before I started this. And he says to not care about the numbers and really do it for yourself and just try to stay as authentic as you can about it. And I feel like in this project, I 100% stuck up to it. So it's like, it's empowering when you're actually able to execute something that you can detach from yourself and say, wow, it's been hell of a journey, but like, you know, I'm already halfway towards the next. So it's like, it's so fun, really.
to get these amazing artists on record with me is my life's passion, and what you've done on those tracks, I can't wait for the world to hear them because they're amazing.
Thank you.
Turn my TV up black, make my eyes tell her, be